People always confuse being alone with being lonely. And here's why. They're not the same thing. I was thinking about something today. People often ask me if I ever get lonely because I spend so much time by myself, which is an honest question. And every time they ask, I realize that they're asking something much bigger than that, right? How can someone spend so much time alone and still be happy? And, the answer is actually, it's pretty simple, right? I've learned to enjoy my own company. That's the answer. I've learned to enjoy my own company. And I think that's one of the greatest freedoms I've discovered after 60. I truly do. I truly do. So, being alone, it isn't the same as being lonely. It's not. There's a difference between being left alone and choosing solitude. I choose solitude. And that doesn't mean I don't love people. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. And I hope you all know that. I love you all, truly. I just treasure, this community, and I treasure my family, of course. And I treasure every moment I spend with my beautiful daughter. But my happiness doesn't disappear the moment I'm by myself. Absolutely not. Right? And that's the freedom I wish that more people experienced. I truly do. I've always been comfortable entertaining myself. I mean, being an only child taught me that. Yes, you have heard me say I do have siblings older than me, but my siblings were out of the house when I was born, and we have different mothers. So didn't grow up together. My oldest sibling is 19 years older than me, and my next oldest sibling is 17 years older than me. So they were gone, right? They were doing their own thing. One was on her way to college, and my other one was just out of high school. He was doing his own thing. They weren't around, so I was the only child. And being an only child, it taught me so many things, right? By myself, I learned to read, to imagine, to think, to dream, to create little worlds of my own, right? That's what you do as an only child. And my mother was different, right? She had lifelong friends, and she had 5 brothers. She was the only girl with 5 brothers, but she had so many friends growing up. She was always surrounded by a lot of people. She was never by herself. And people were, just always around her all the time. So when she grew older and began losing those people, loneliness became very real, became very, very real. And watching her taught me something important. And we all grow older differently, and that's why I tied that in here with my mom. We all grow older differently, and there's no one right way, right? There's only your way. That's it. When Zoe and I are together, which is my daughter, we have the best time. We laugh. Oh my goodness, we talk. We watch our favorite shows. Those moments are very precious to me, precious time. But when she leaves for work, my happiness doesn't leave with her. My day doesn't stop because I'm by myself. It doesn't. My day has already begun, right? And I feel like I'm in my sanctuary. Almost every morning I take my daughter to work, and then I come home, and the moment I close my front door, I'm home, right? I'm home. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm home. And not because this apartment is perfect, because it isn't at all. It isn't perfect. But because I've learned something over time. I've learned that we don't have to live in our dream home, right? We don't. to create a peaceful home. We don't have to do that. Peace isn't always found somewhere else. Sometimes it's created exactly where you are, right? We have to meet ourselves where we are. And I've learned to make this little corner of my world my sanctuary, right? This little corner of the world is my sanctuary. And people sometimes ask me, what do you do all day? And the better question is, what fills my life? What fills my life? And I've filled my life with things that bring me peace. Prayer, always. That's first and foremost. The first thing I do when I open my eyes in the morning. No matter what time of day it is, right? It can be in the middle of the night, first thing in the morning. I'm constantly in prayer. Constantly, right? Incessantly. Reading. You know about my Sunday book clubs. You know, I love reading. My mother was an avid reader. My daughter is an avid reader. We love to read. We're a family of readers. I love writing. I love writing these conversations that I bring to you every day. I love doing that. I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm an educator. So I love learning. And I love creating. I love creating this content here. It brings me so much joy. Filming these conversations, building this little YouTube library that I'm building, or I should say big now because we've got over 1,200 items in my library, right? Answering your comments. That brings me joy. Spending quiet moments with Mam Mam. You all know Mam Mam. If you're new here, Mam Mam is my cat. And she brings me lots of joy with her sassy self. Sometimes it's cooking for me. I like to do that for myself during the day. And sometimes it's simply just sitting quiet with my thoughts. And I do that a lot. You know, I'm always in reflection. Always am. And this isn't waiting for life, right? This is my life. This is my life. And I've learned to enjoy it. I've learned to enjoy it. I think that one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves as we grow older is learning to become comfortable in our own company, comfortable with our own selves, because life changes. Children grow up, people move away, retirement comes. Sometimes loss finds us too, unfortunately. And sometimes life simply becomes quieter than we expected. And that happens. You know, when it happens, I hope that you don't think your beautiful life is over, because it's not. It's just beginning. You know, it's just beginning. It just may be simply inviting you to discover a different kind of peace, right? Just discover a different kind of peace. Some of us are so used to running and going and doing constantly that when you get to this point in your life, it's like, ooh, I don't know if I can just have this solitude. I love it. I have embraced it so. But of course, as an only child, I came to it easily. You may not come to it so easily, but give it a shot. You know, spend some time with yourself, with your thoughts, doing the things that you love. I think you'll enjoy it. You know, I've stopped measuring the quality of my day by how many people I saw, right? I'm not outside. I measure it by how much peace I felt. That's how I measure my days. Home isn't where my life pauses until someone arrives. Absolutely not. Home is where my life happens. It's where it happens. And if you're learning to enjoy your own company, which I hope that you are, I hope that you remember this. Freedom isn't having fewer people in your life. It's not. Freedom is no longer needing other people to give your life meaning. Love you plenty.